Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praise to see how about Shania Shai, double honor to the elders, the apostles of great most, so that surely do rule well. Salutation to the Akim that push this without the insincerity and in truth. This is Islam once again from GMS Camp that I come to do a little video, right? With the edification enough. Basically on 2 Corinthians, I would say, right? Right? Basically on 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 6, right? So when we out there on the highways and the byways, some people they don't like how we speak, right? But if they was reading the scriptures, they would know even the ancient men, the apostle Paul, and these men they spoke the same way, right? And it has some men also. Guess what? They might be learned in certain words, but they understand what they're saying. I mean, they mightn't be so big on certain words, right? Like big words. Some of us we never went through university, secondary school, or probably some of us might even have a school educational educated in some sort of school, but yet where this is concerned, scriptures, we know exactly what we're saying, right? So this is Second Corinthians verse 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 6, where it said, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, right? But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things, right? So basically just that word rude, I want to look up, right? So it says, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, right? So you look up the word rude, right? Greek Strong's 399, Greek transliteration, idiotis, pronunciation idiotis, right? Or basically, that where we get the word idiot from, right? So it says from Greek to 2398, a private person, that is by implication ignoramus or ignorant person, compared to idiot, ignorant, unlearned, right? So we all know the Apostle Paul. He was a Pharisees, right? A person learned in the law or doctrine, understand? But he also spoke different languages, right? But he said, "Do I be rude in speech?" So what he mean rude in speech, right? Maybe some words, right? Though he be ignorant of certain words, right? He still understand basically what he is teaching the gospel, right? That is why he said in 1 Corinthians, I'll go to it. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 17, right? It says, for Mashiach sent me not to baptize but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, right? So he don't know all the words. He would not know all the words, right, in the world, all them big high class words, or words in different languages, right? Because even into the Hebrew, even though Hebrew is actually our language, it might have certain words that we are ignorant of or unlearned of, right? But also rude, right? It said though he be rude in speech, it also goes back to our behavior, the way how we do the work sometimes. Understand? So I'll just look up the word rude in the dictionary here, right? It said rude, characterized by roughness, unpolished, raw, lacking delicacy of refinement or coarse. Yeah, so even when we out there on the highways and the byways and we breaking down a script here, right? And and 2/3 they don't want to listen to us. Whatever the case is, sometimes we might get rough or harsh. You understand? Sometimes if you have to tell somebody by the mother son, so by you see, get the fuck out of here. You understand? We rough, right? We raw with words. The scripture in second is just say be not ashamed of these things. So I cannot it's just what in the book of Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, right? Let me see if I can get it. Right? Right? We'll play it one time. Right? In the book of Ecclesiasticus 42 verse 1. It said, of these things be not thou ashamed, and accept no person to sin thereby. Of the law of the Most High and His covenant, and of judgment to justify the ungodly. Right? Yes, so sometimes when we out there on the highways, byways, we know what we telling the truth. However, the case is we ain't going and be soft. Yahushai was an austere man. Yahushai Hamashiach, right? The son of the Most High. They said he he preached the gospel with what authority? You understand? He was stern. He was rough, right? So, our next the name for the word rude, right? It says unformed by taste or skill, not nicely finished, right? Some people, hey, they have problems with us, the men of Great Millstone, right? The way we talk, people get offended, but it's not babies we talking to. We talking to big hardback men and women, right? So we don't have a nice finish to the mouth that scripture say they hate those that rebuke at the gate. Because sometimes when somebody rebuking you, hey, it's not a nice thing. Sometimes they might get hurt, but guess what? That is love. That is love, right? When somebody this is Ecclesiasticus. I'll get it on the in the Apocrypha, right? Ecclesiasticus 20 verse 1. It says there is a reproof, right? That is not comely. Again, some man holdeth his tongue and he is wise. Yes, so there is a reproof that is not comely, right? Meaning that what is harsh. It ain't brought to your soft, whatever the case is, right? So we have a very rough finish where it's concerned, not smooth or polished, right? Because why? We don't speak smooth words, we don't speak soft words. We let you know straight, hey, you're doing fucking shit. The scripture says in Isaiah 58 verse 1, you understand? Lift up your voice like a trumpet. You understand? Show, spare not. Spare not. So we don't spare nobody, we don't speak smooth words, we don't come there soft, we come there rough. It said especially of material things as rude workmanship. Right? The third point here, right? It says of untaught manners, unpolished, of low rank, uncivil, clownish, ignorant, raw, unskillful, set of persons or of conduct, skill, and the like. Yeah, so sometimes that is our conduct, right? Because right, sometimes we go there, as scripture say, as sheep in the midst of wolves, right? So sometimes we might be soft spoken until, guess what? Until the two-thirds, until you people, you Christians, whatever the case is, start to buck up. You start to buck up against the words of the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai. We get offended for that. You understand? Because that is basically how we speak, and yet the scripture still said that hey, sometimes we do mock you, right? We go there, hey, sometimes we call you people names. Most High Yahweh himself call you names, right? Worm, sheep, right? Fools, sottish, You understand? This is Isaiah 28 verse 10. Hold on. Yeah, I'll read from verse 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Right? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Right? Those of us who are weaned from what? The milk of the world, or the rudiments of the world. Right? We wean from Christianity. We are weaned from all paganistic doctrines out there that these heathens have brought upon us. We are weaned from falsehood, from lies. Right? And now we are coming into that knowledge of Yahweh Shamel Shai to do his will, and to get that good milk that will lead us on to salvation when the chariots come and pick us up. Right? It says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. Right? Because even some of us, understand, when we used to go to church, some of these people, they just read one whole book, but they never get the understanding. Right? Because why? The scriptures is like a puzzle, but only the men of Great Millstone know how to put that puzzle together. We have that eye, that keen eye, right? That sharpness of the eye, that we could see where the puzzle is fitly where it's fit firmly together to make a clean, perfect picture. We are those men with the photographic eye when it comes towards the scriptures. We see the perfect picture when these Christians, when these other religions, right, they cannot see the perfect picture. Right? It says, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Yeah, so this people, right, it talking about two-thirds. We mock them because why? We tell them the stupid. You'll fall into Islam and talking about Allah and a flying donkey. This Jehovah Witness, I can remember a time talking to my child mother and her sister, right? And I telling them about the UFOs, which are the chariots of Yahweh Shamir Shai, right? Because the scripture says there's simplicity in the Lord. The Lord himself have vehicles. Why you think that they make movies like Silver Surfer with the Herald, not the Herald, Salakia, with Galactus, right? That was an illustration of the Most High, right? That was an illustration of the Most High. But the thing about it, Salakia, kind of lose my chain of thought, right? Yeah, basically, I was talking about the Salakia, Babakasha Salakia Akim, right? Kind of lost my chain of thought there, right? But yeah, we mock at these people. We tell them basically, you people stupid. All right, Salakia, now getting back, we're talking about my child mother sister, right? And she said the Lord don't need those things. Right? So I was like, so you really, because these Jehovah Witnesses believe that the Lord himself coming on a literal cloud. When I mean a literal cloud, the cloud will just bring forth rain. Right? I said, girl, you for realize what the Most High will come back. The Most High coming back in glory. It's the same way how a man, he will buy a big Benz, a big BMW or a Hummer and drive through. Right? He coming in, Yahushai, coming in the glory of his father, them big, massive ass chariots. Right? So the Most High coming on his ride. Right? The Barataz Salawas, right? Iron horse. He coming on that iron horse. Right? If I pronounce it correct. Right? But if you look up the word with stammering lips, right? For with stammering lips, you shall speak to these people. Right? It says from Hebrew, right? Let me see. La Aiga. La Aig. Right? They have here La Ig. It says from Hebrews Strong 39:32, a buffoon, also a foreigner, mocker, right? We mock these people, we tell them, yeah, you are sottish children, right? You are dotish, right? But the scriptures say, though we be rude in speech, not in knowledge, right? Because we understand exactly everything we're saying. We don't have to come out there on the highways and on the byways speaking wisdom of words. We just basically have to know what we're saying. It says, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. Yeah, so sometimes we might use big words as some men might when it comes to breaking down the scriptures. But we know for sure what we tell you people, that it is true. And it will be manifest that what we said is true. Right? The last precept that I like to bring is Proverbs 4:7. It says wisdom is the principal thing. Right? Therefore get wisdom. Right? And with all I get understanding. Right? This thing is plain unto the righteous. Right? But unto the wicked is a stumbling block. We know what we're speaking of. Though we be ignorant in speech. Though we might not have the big words. Because, hey, say that was last precept. Salakia. 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 27. It says, but power, right? But the Most High Yahweh had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and power had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. So some of these people who go to school, they have the degree, the doctorate, whatever the case is. Once you don't have this truth, you're not wise, right? You're not a person of high standard. You're not intellectual. You can bring your degree or your papers from theology school and present it from the Most High. The Most High don't want that. The Most High want your garment to be white, right? Which is a righteousness, which is the knowledge, which is the knowledge of Him, which is the unadulterated truth, right? Sound doctrine, right? And I'll end this little bit with that, right? So shalom to the elect. Want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Shai, double honor to the elders, the apostles, and great millstone that spread this message throughout the four corners of the earth. Until then, Kalakiam, Shalom.